geometric shapes. This isn't real hard stuff, it's just something we don't talk about all the time here. So write that down. See where we go. When you talk about a shape, it's a pretty nice looking rectangle there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Usually in math, we label shapes by what's called their endpoints. So for example, the book will, as will most people, instead of just putting these points here, they'll say A, B, C, D. And you would call this rectangle A, B, C, D. Now one thing you have to know, when you label shapes, children, the points have to go in order. In other words, see how I went A, B, C, D? That's acceptable, as would this be. You could do it like this too. You could go A, B, C, D. As long as they go in order, you're not allowed to go A, skip a point, B, C, and D. Okay, you always want, and that's just for clarity when we talk about stuff. It always goes in order from one side to the other side. A triangle's not so hard. Why? Because you can't really go out of order, right? No matter how you list the numbers, they're right next to each other in order. You could call this triangle, you could call this triangle DEF, or you could call it triangle DFE, or you could call it triangle FED, or you could draw triangle DEF. There is no way to write these letters incorrectly, because with the triangle you only have one other choice. But with something with 4 points or 5 points, you have to list them in somewhat of a rotational sort of order. And then with that, we have to talk about this. Have we talked about, we talked about this, right? Lines, segments, and rays? Yeah. Same thing with this. A lot of times they'll put letters here. When you're labeling things like that, okay, you've got math, people get kind of particular about this. When I label point AD, if I were trying to tell you to look at line AD, you'd have to write it as AD with a line over it. Notice what there's not above this? There's no arrows here, because this is a line segment. They probably call it a line there. Okay. If there's arrows, it would be this. BD. You put 2 arrows on there, that tells somebody you're talking about the whole line. If I only put BD there without arrows, then I'm only talking about this space, because a segment, which is what this tells you you're looking at, has beginning and end points. A line does not. That keeps, you're just talking about that whole line. So you have to be very careful with that. Same thing with this. If you're talking about this ray, okay, ray would have to be labeled like this. That's a little symbol for a ray because it has 1 arrow on it. A line has 2 arrows, a segment doesn't have 2 arrows on it. And when you talk about a ray, you have to always start with its point that doesn't go on forever. A ray goes this way. You could not call this ray EC, okay, because that would tell it starts at E and goes towards C. Ray CE says you start there and it goes there. I know this is exciting. Most of you will go home and tell your parents that this was the best math class you've ever had. Now, here is an example I want to show you, because this is one of those things when you see it, you have to do it the right way. Write this down. This would be your note of the day. If you're going to highlight anything, this would be it. Write out of the book a problem for the ages. P, Q, R. The length of PQ is 3 centimeters. The length PQ is 3 centimeters. The length of segment PR is 8 centimeters. What's the length of QR? Now, whether you can do this in your head or not, it doesn't matter to me. You might know the answer already. You're asking me right now, what do I need to write on my paper, Zach Roth? Ask me. No, ask me.
What do I need to write on my paper?
What do you need? If you see this problem in the book, you have to draw out this line. So this is me on my paper. Put the points on it. P, Q, R, and then write the measurements that they give you. PQ is 3 centimeters. So I would do this. PQ is 3 centimeters. PR, and you could do it like this too, PR is 8 centimeters. They want to know how long is QR? Question mark. How long would QR have to be? If the whole thing is 8 centimeters and this part takes up 3 centimeters, how long does that have to be, Kayla Fisher?
5 centimeters.
8 minus the 3 is 5 centimeters. So this, children, I need to see this on your paper. It's not that hard, nor does it take that long. I need definitely to see that. That would always be a good thing. Anything else there? Have we talked about acute angles? You have?
Acute angle. Yeah.
We talked about ugly angles?
Yep. No.
Well, there's no such thing as an ugly angle.
Oh, I get it. It's that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.